Welcome to Week and Geek, your new comics preview for September 4th. I'm Mike Ortiz.
And I'm the Chris Brown.
So what do you got?
Well, it's a huge week for starters. Huge. Lots of really cool stuff going on this week. Some big fun stuff. We're also, a day behind. We're a day in the zone. So we don't. When will then be now soon? We're off a little. So we don't actually have the books because we won't have them until tomorrow. Right. And it'd be very difficult for us to do this tomorrow. Even though if you're watching this tomorrow, you'll be watching this today and you won't know where you're at anyway. Yeah. So just go with it.
Just pretend. It's comic books.
So I'm going to lead off here. We're starting Villains Month.
Yeah.
We're starting all that. We've got 3D covers and standard covers and all that stuff. I've got Detective Comics 23.1, Poison Ivy. I've been reading Detective for a while, so I'm just going to go ahead and I'm just going to read the titles that I've been reading and the villains I want to read. That's kind of where I'm at on it. Other than that, because I don't know, I haven't been reading a lot of DC stuff lately, so I don't really know what's going on. There might be some reinventions of characters that I might look at, but we shall see. But I am excited about the Detective Comics just because I have been reading it. I believe it is still our same creative team. We'll see how good that is. Then I've got, this is a really odd one that I'm kind of excited about. This is the Masters of the Universe versus the DC Universe, number 1. I don't know, I imagine it's going to be like a big video game. And the DC characters are going to fight the... apparently all the heroes have been shot over to Eternia because the villains have taken over.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know that that's what they're rolling with. But
I like that idea.
They're in like pocket video game dimension or something. So I think it's kind of cool. I like when they do these odd crossovers. I've always thought they were fun. Then I've got Trillium number 2. This is a Vertigo book. This is Jeff Lemire. Loved that first issue. I don't have it in front of me. I don't know if they're doing a flip book thing again or not, but it really worked well in that first book where you read one story and it gets you to the end. And then you flip it and it gets you to the same end.
That's a clever idea.
And you kind of see the two different sides, and now I guess these characters have met, and we'll see where it goes from there.
Cool.
There was a particular way to read it. You were supposed to read one before the other. And I happened to just land on that side when I realized that was part 1 and the other one was 1.2.
Ah, okay.
It's like, cool. All right, I'm doing this the right way.
Lucky.
And there was something you might have seen that you shouldn't have seen beforehand if you had read it the other way. Cool. But Trillium's a cool book, very strange. There's kind of a futuristic race that's trying to get some kind of flower that can save them, and then there's a story in the 1940s or something where they end up kind of slamming together, and there's some weird temple that's perhaps a time traveling portal. I don't know. We'll see. This is Avengers AI number 3. I've liked this book so far. Admittedly, this is going to be a book that I'm just going to read until I stop, because I will eventually stop, I'm sure, and be like, well, all right, I'm all good with the artificial intelligence stories.
You'll get 1 issue behind, then 2 issues behind, and then
that'll be it. But for now, it's kind of cool. They got some weird hacker has taken over a Sentinel, and the Sentinel's starting to go a little wacky and messing stuff up. So we shall... Or is the Sentinel with... no, that's right. The Sentinel doesn't want to attack the humans. It doesn't understand. And it's being used for other purposes. And I don't know. It's basically the team that starts stopping all the computerized missions that are in the Marvel Universe. And again, I'll read that until I fall behind. Superior Foes of Spider-Man. This is issue number 3. Nick Spencer. Really cool stuff. I kind of like... It's the spy book with the villains. That spy heist book. They're on a mission. They're trying to do some stuff. They're putting together a new... Sinister Six, and of course they only have 5 of them. So, okay, they made jokes about that and such. Then I've got Daredevil Dark Knights, number 4. This is, I don't even have the creative team in front of me presently. But who's doing this one?
David Lapham.
Oh, Dave Lapham's doing this one. So it should get a little darker even, I think. A little bit more kind of crime, street level kind of stuff. David Lapham did a great job with Stray Bullets and all the other things he's done. He writes some pretty gritty stuff. That first story arc was really cool. It was about Daredevil trying to save a little girl. And this is going to be, a few different story arcs going through the whole thing. Just different creative teams doing things. I think it's
probably going to be like 4 3-issue, because it's a 12-issue series.
Okay, so 4 3-issue arcs.
3 issues would be good. Nice, tight little stories.
Yeah, I really liked that first one, and I'm looking forward to seeing what Dave Lapham's going to crank out for us. Infinity Part 2. This has been great so far. It's a Thanos story.
Mhm.
I love what they're doing. I like Hickman's getting his shot at the big event. You got Black Bolt is in this story. They're supposed to be spinning off and doing it in Humans.
Yeah.
Is coming out of this. Matt
Humans is
Fraction is going to be doing it.
Yep.
So I like what they're doing right now. They're making it a big cosmic along with the regular Marvel universe, which
and it's tying into what Hickman was doing on the Avengers. I mean,
yeah,
the two Avengers books are basically just part of this crossover.
He'd been building the whole time anyway, and that's what he does. You're always sitting there reading his stuff, going, "All right, where's it going? Okay, there it is."
Mm-hmm.
So I've enjoyed Infinity so far, and that's a fun one. Then I've got Dexter number 3. This is, as I've said for the last 2 issues, this is Jeff Lindsay, the actual writer of the novels, but it's not the TV show. They had some rights hang-ups on that, and they weren't able to really make them drawn like the characters, But all the characters are in there. I don't read the books, and it's just a little different. He doesn't have Harry with him. He's got like a big black shadowy cloud, and it is literally his dark passenger. He is sort of having a confrontation with a local celebrity, a guy who everybody knows is sort of a real estate mogul guy, but it's a guy that Dexter went to high school with and had a confrontation with in the past. And now they've come together again, and we're going to have to see where that's going. Is Dexter going to have to take somebody out? Probably. That's how that works. Otherwise, it's not interesting. Mm-hmm. Then I've got The Mocking Dead. This is a parody of The Walking Dead, but it looks like it's going to have a little bit of fun with it. People are turning into zombies, and then you got a couple of heroes that they're trying to deal with it, I guess. I think this is this Dynamite or IDW? Dynamite. So I'm willing to give it a shot. I'll read at least an issue of The Mocking Dead. I mean, why not? Everything falls into parody eventually.
Yeah, great title.
Yes. Then Shadow Man number 10. This is a book that I'm also behind on a little bit. I think I've missed the last couple issues. But I've been enjoying it. It's been all right. I am looking forward to, apparently there is a new creative team coming soon, and they're going to take it in a different direction. So we shall see. I have, like I said, I've enjoyed it to a point, but I kind of want my old Shadow Man back. Then I've got, this goes a little bit quicker when we don't have the books right in front of us. So I don't really have everything in front of me. Some of these new titles, I'm, sure I looked them up. And I did a little research, but I don't have them in front of me to really see what's going on.
We can't sit there and go, ooh.
Right. Ooh, oh, look at that. Oh, man. Yeah.
That last page is a doozy.
Because I don't know.
Yeah.
Then I've got Invincible 105. The 104 was pretty good. It's been a while since I've read that there. I think we're probably a little late. But I know, what is it? I believe the big crazy character. What's the guy with the big giant head? He sort of attacked Adam Eve and then decided maybe he was wrong. Angstrom Levy.
Yeah.
And now Marx doesn't care. He's going after him. So that should be kind of fun. It's been some just great adventures lately in Invincible. Once they got out of that, I was wondering, how do you get out of what you had done? You kind of cornered Mark, and everyone was making it a big deal. Like, wow, the whole world hates Mark. Well, do they? Do they really know everything that happened? Do they even know he killed Dinosaurus or whatever? What happened exactly? And then they got us out of it, and Mark's changed man. I mean, they basically used this to take Mark to another darker place. And
one of the things that this book does really well, but I think a lot of big superhero books can kind of take a cue from, is how easily he can slide from big stories into smaller personal stories. And this is kind of a big story, to a degree, but it's basically a hero versus villain story, and we're going to get that with a lot of character development and growth, following up on what was really probably the biggest story they've ever told.
Agreed.
So he does a really good job of jumping between the big stories and the small stories, which is, for me, is the way to do it. Because when it's big story after big story, you get kind of burnt out. Absolutely,
and he does a wonderful job of bringing characters back and bringing them through, and and like Angstrom Levy is sort of their Dr. Doom in some ways, and he goes away for a little while, he comes back, messes some stuff up, fun stuff. Then I've got Love Stories to Die For, issue number 1. This is by Dirk Manning, Image Comics. This has got 2 different covers on it this week. I'm excited about this one because we like Dirk. Dirk's a friend of the show, really good guy, and he's going to be in the store on October 12th. He's doing a 10 stores or 10 signings in 10 weeks kind of deal, and we're in that mix. we're the only store on the schedule that he's doing a live right or wrong seminar.
Oh, cool.
So he's going to be doing a kind of a writing workshop, seminar, panel kind of deal to kind of go along with his book. And he also writes a panel for Bleeding Cool. So he's going to be in here doing that live, and then he's going to sign for a few hours. So that's going to be really cool. And we've also got, on that very same day, we're going to have Voyager 3 in the shop doing a live 20-minute set.
Oh,
so
nice.
a local band, probably one of the better bands going right now in the Detroit area. And they play music very much in the style of, the old 80s horror, synth-driven soundtrack stuff. And then we're all going to, after Dirk's signing's done, we're all done, and we're all going out to dinner in the head to see Goblin. So so this is a fun book. I'm really excited about it because this is we're hyping this up for his signing, and we'll have all kinds of other stuff that he's done too. And remember he did that first issue of Dia de los Muertos with Riley Rossmo, and so just great stuff. He's a really cool horror writer, and so you should check that one out. And you should try to make it to our signing on October 12th. Even if you're not local, try and come on out, or check the schedule and see if he's coming to you locally.
Yeah, sure. Good guy.
So what do you got?
Well, I'm going to start off with my Villain Month stuff. I got one little comment to make before we get started. There's been a lot of hoopla. I'm sure if you're watching the show, you've been on the internet. You see a lot of people complaining about the situation. And certainly DC dropped the ball, did not communicate properly in a variety of ways.
Sure.
Things happen. I actually work in printing and have done my fair share of lenticular covers, and they're a pain in the ass, and they take a lot of time. And clearly, some people were not familiar with just what this was going to take, and they dropped the ball. But that doesn't mean these are really going to be super rare. So don't buy these on eBay for exorbitant prices. That's kind of one of the things that's going wrong in comics again. Is basically people are going to try and grab these so they can flip them on eBay and keep them out of the hands of the people who want them. So really, just don't go buy it on eBay, because honestly, these things aren't really going to be that rare. They're allocated, but they're allocated DC books. So there are more copies of those there's going to be more copy of those floating out there than like anything that like Dynamite publishes or Boom publishes, or special limited edition variant covers on Image Comics. There will be far fewer of, and they should be far more valuable on eBay than the 50 or 60,000 Justice Leagues up there. So yeah, if you sit and wait long enough, go to a convention, you'll find these for at least very close to cover price. But don't go spending $20 on eBay for this, because that just fuels the fire.
Correct.
And makes these books harder to get for people who genuinely want them.
But be sure to go out and buy those limited edition variant image covers.
Yes. Those are actually genuinely limited, though.
True.
And more on that later. But anyway, rant over. Now I'm looking at Green Lantern. This is 23.1. This is Relic. This is the big bad that they've been building towards.
Yep.
I kind of wish we did have the copy here, because I want to see if this ties in to those variant covers like we've been talking about. See if it's the same book.
Chris Owen believes it does.
Okay.
He believes that it does lay out into the comic somewhere. He said he believes they combined them and made the comic, but that's only like 12 pages.
They could, yeah. There would have to be stuff in between.
Yeah, so I'm sure that's in there, but yeah, apparently that is a part of his origin that's going in there.
Yeah, so if you've been following Green Lantern, and Relic is kind of at the heart of this big crossover, this is where you're going to get his backstory. Next up, we've got Justice League, and this is Darkseid. I'm a big fan of Darkseid going way back. He's one of my favorite villains, one of the big gun DC villains. And so now we're going to get a look, hopefully some backstory on the new 52 take on Darkseid, and really that's just a blast. This is probably one of the ones I'm looking forward to the most. Next up, we've got Superman. This one I believe is going to be Bizarro.
Oh, okay.
And Bizarro has not debuted in the new 52.
So this is the brand new Bizarro.
So this is the new Bizarro. I thought that Ha'el was going to be Bizarro because he had the backwards S and the crackly face, but he's got his own one shot later in the month.
All right.
So this is Bizarro. I know from the cover he's got the t-shirt and jeans look. So I don't know if this is set in the past or if he's just wearing the old costume. But yeah, this is going to be the introduction of the new 52.
The new old costume?
The new old costume. And then we've also got Superman. There's a lot of Supermans in this mix. And I'm probably going to be getting all of them because I like the Superman villains. This one is the Cyborg Superman.
Okay.
And I've always liked the Cyborg Superman. He was kind of at the heart of the death or the return of Superman storyline, and he's played out in Green Lantern and stuff. I know he appeared in Supergirl prior to this, so this is not his New 52 debut. But I didn't read it, so I'm kind of curious to see what the new backstory on him is going to be. Probably the biggest big gun of this entire Villains Month thing would be the Batman 23.1. This is the Joker.
Yes.
I mean, coming off all of the talk about the Killing Joke recently, plus this is, I don't know if Scott Snyder's doing this. I hope he is.
I believe he is.
It's right in the middle of Zero Year, of course. But the Joker is the big villain. He's Batman's most popular villain. He's probably the most popular comic book villain ever.
That was one that I did not get allocated on. Because I didn't actually up my number. I kept my number what it always was because I didn't really know what to do with these things. So there will be some on the shelf at noon, and they will be one per person.
But I'm looking forward to this. I'm always down for a good Joker story. Next up is the Earth 2 villain, the Earth 2 Villains Week, which is Desaad. Again, tying in with the Dark Side storyline. I've always been really fascinated by Kirby's New Gods and this New 52 take on them. So far, I've not really seen a lot of it. There was a little bit in Wonder Woman,
right?
And then they started talking about it in Earth 2, but they've been sort of teasing it in various places, and obviously the first Justice League storyline. But I don't know that I've seen Desaad in the New 52 yet, so I'm really curious about that. Next up, all of this is part of Forever Evil, which is DC's new big event that's following up on the Trinity War. At the end of Trinity War, the crime syndicate from Earth 3, the evil Justice League, has shown up, and they're going to take care of the heroes somehow. People are guessing the heroes are going to wind up on Earth 3, and then the villains are going to run loose. I don't know, but this hopefully is where that story is going to play out. This is Jeff Johns and David Finch. A DC comic that is not a DC superhero comic that's not Villains Month is Batman Black and White. I love these Batman Black and Whites. Part of me was even tempted to wait because I've got like the collected editions of all of them. There was a miniseries many years ago, then they were backup features. Basically, it's different fantastic artists getting a shot at doing Batman in black and white.
Okay.
Because we don't have it, I don't know who worked on this one. I know Mark Silvestri did the cover. But if there's a superhero that works best in black and white, it's probably Batman.
Certainly.
And yeah, they're just collection of short stories by some really top talent to get a chance to sink their teeth in. Speaking of sink their teeth in, I really did not plan that.
Well played, sir.
Next up is Chew. This book has really picked up.
Oh yeah.
They're definitely marching towards something interesting. We've got this conspiracy that the Fowls were not actually. There was really no problem with them. We've got this cult, and we've got the vampire, and it's just all this stuff is kind of coming to a head.
There's a battle coming with Tony and that vampire.
Yeah.
And then again, now this group, the food cult, is saying they need Tony, and it's not what it looks like.
Yeah. So there's a lot going on.
Yes.
This book, I know that they have an end. I know the end is still a little ways off, but this seems like it's heading towards something big. So I don't know if we're at like some sort of midpoint. But yeah,
I believe we did hit the midpoint with it's going to go 65. So where are we at?
So we're at
36. So I think we'd hit that midpoint around the funeral.
Okay. So yeah, this book after the funeral, the book just kind of really just took off.
Yeah.
Again. So yeah, this has been a lot of fun. If you've been reading along so far, I'm sure I don't need to tell you that. Next up, we've got an unusual one. God is Dead, from Jonathan Hickman, but it's not from Image Comics. It's from Avatar.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's branching out a little bit.
Which is great.
I don't know what to expect. Good for Avatar. Good for him. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. It's definitely going to give Avatar a shot. I mean, certainly they had all the Alan Moore stuff. But that Alan Moore really didn't write necessarily.
They were picking up scripts from other places.
So, I know a short story that he wrote and things. He may have written something for him. I'm not sure, but
maybe. But
this is definitely written just for Avatar.
And this is a great situation of someone with a little bit of clout being able to help out a company. I mean, Jonathan Hickman starts out at Image Comics, with his nightly news, and he does stuff over there, and then he finds his way over to Marvel, goes back to Image. Now that he can really do whatever he wants, he goes, takes a book over to Avatar. That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, so, I mean, in this week, you've got Jonathan Hickman doing a big, epic event book for the #1 publisher and doing kind of a smaller personal book for a real small publisher. I mean, Image is at least either battles it out for #4, 3 and 4 with, like, IDW, but Avatar's, really a much smaller part of the market share. and him taking a book to them, and
It's-
almost certainly, taking a hit financially on it, because a lot of people aren't gonna check it out for that. But good for him and good for Avatar. Next up, Satellite Sam. This is Matt Fraction and Howard Chaykin. I'm still not sure what I feel about this book. I like the premise. It's a 50s kids show where the lead is found dead, and his son takes over the lead because they look a lot alike. So he's the main character who's found a fountain of youth, but he's still investigating like his father's mysterious death. So it sounds really great, and the artwork by Howard Chaykin is fantastic. I don't think anybody could really capture this 50s time period as well. I just don't know that Matt Fraction writes in a voice that makes the 50s feel authentic.
Okay.
So, authenticity is kind of a big part of this, and it's going kind of slow. I mean, 2 issues, and really it still feels like there's a lot of setup. This is an ongoing series, not a limited series, so I don't know how much story they've got. I'll at least give it a try for a little while longer on the Chaykin artwork alone. But yeah, at the moment, I'm not loving this book as much as I thought I would be.
Okay.
And unfortunately, I think it's almost like Matt Fraction is a little bit too much of a modernist writer.
Gotcha, to try and go back.
Yeah, that I almost want to hear more 50s stylings to it. But that's just me. It's still a good book. And God, Howard, this is like the best artwork I've seen him do in ages.
All right.
Next up, Superior Spider-Man. This has got Spider-Man 2099.
Miguel O'Hara.
So
that's 616.
That's pretty much all I need. Dan Slott is still writing the Dr. Octopus Spider-Man, and now there's another Spider-Man that's not Peter Parker. And then when Miles, whatever his name is, from Miles Morales, there'll be 3 Spider-Men in the Marvel Universe that aren't Peter Parker. Great stuff. Next up, we've got All New X-Men. This is a Brian Michael Bendis book, and I believe this is tying into my next pick, which is X-Men Battle of the Atom. So this is the first crossover of the X-Men books. So the all new X-Men are the X-Men from the past brought into the present, and Battle of the Atom has X-Men from the future coming to the present to tell them to send the X-Men from the past back to the past because they're messing things up. This is going to get messy. I thought Age of Ultron was supposed to put an end to time travel.
I thought so too, but no.
So they just keep breaking that universe. But it's been fun. This has been a great book. Like I said, it's my favorite of the Marvel Nows, probably.
Well, I liked that thing in the last issue with Jean and Beast.
Yes.
That was awesome.
Yes, very unexpected. That's the thing, is they're really doing unexpected things with this. When they first announced the title, there was a very obvious way they could have gone with everything, and they haven't.
So, it's been a great fun book.
Kudos to Bendis and Marvel for doing something that old jaded comic book fans like us didn't see coming. Next up, this would have been my top pick under normal circumstances. I've been looking forward to this for a while. This is The Star Wars. And what they basically did is they went back to George Lucas's original script for Star Wars, first draft from about 1974 or 5.
Something like that.
So it's completely, well, not completely different. There are elements from
Seeds are there, but it's different.
There are character names that are the same, but they're totally different characters. This is basically, if Lucas could have gotten Star Wars made in 1974 or 75, this is what it would have been. They've gone back to original production artwork to try to get that cat feel. The artwork is Mike Mayhew, who does very good photorealistic stuff. So yeah, I'm excited about this.
I am too. I want to check it out.
I've read the differences between the story, and I've read like plot synopses for this before. But reading that in kind of a summary or in a script form doesn't really give you that visual impact. So
to see the story play out will be fun.
Yeah, so yeah, this is kind of a weird thing. I've never seen anybody do something like this where they go back to a first draft that's drastically different.
Star Wars can, and everyone goes, ah!
And, Dark Horse has got to milk this while they can.
Yes.
So that's my list.
Well, I missed some because I had it on a list because I didn't have some things that I could even reference things. So I'm going to just go through real quick and hit these other things. I'm also looking forward to Reality Check from Image Comics. It's about a comic writer whose hero has left the book and shows up and says, "I'm not going back in the comic till you find me, find me someone to love." It looks kind of fun and odd. I'm kind of looking forward to it. I really wish I had it in front of me to kind of take a peek. I've got Sheltered #3, which is one that, again, I said I'm just not sold on yet. It's the pre-apocalyptic tale about kids killing each other and trying to take over this this camp where the adults, were preparing for an apocalypse and going to raise their families in this community, and then a couple of the kids, the older teenagers go nuts and start killing all the adults. And I don't always love stuff like that. I mean, there's so much of that kind of stuff in the news right now, but I am still, at this point, I'm curious and, still giving that a shot. And then this probably would have been my top pick in any other circumstances, is the Avengers Endless Wartime hardcover written by Warren Ellis. It's an original graphic novel. I really like the idea of that. That has gone away. You don't get that anymore. Yeah. So just a nice big thick book that you can just sit down and put your footy pajamas on and read some hot cocoa and have the whole thing, and it's all brand new, and I like that.
It's interesting because as far as I can tell, this is going to be an in-continuity graphic novel, because Marvel was doing all those season ones,
right,
and DC was doing their Earth one, which are all out of continuity. But it's been a while since someone's done an in continuity, or at least something that could be in continuity graphic novel.
With your 616 characters.
Yes.
And so I like that, and I'm looking forward to that.
And Warren Ellis writing an Avengers story. I mean, that sounds like it could be a lot of awesome.
Absolutely. So yeah, original graphic novel. Should be really, really cool. Comes in a nice hardcover.
The top pick this week is obvious, though.
The top pick is obvious. We're both picking the same thing.
Yeah.
Should we just show the graphic first?
Sure.
So there it is.
There it is. It's us. We're picking ourselves.
Hoax Hunters number 10, cover C.
Yeah.
Originally, I thought we were going to be the first variant cover, but there's two other covers on the same book that look great.
Yeah.
I mean, they look really, really fantastic.
But
There's but they don't have us.
They don't have us.
The other two covers look great, but they're not us, and they weren't drawn by Mike Ortiz. No. We've got this exclusive, as we mentioned earlier, half joking, about picking up those exclusive image covers. I know for a fact there's only 1,000 of these.
Yeah.
That's it. It's all that exists. There's 1,000 of this cover, period. So if you were looking,
there's not going to be a second printing in a couple months.
No, this is it. Once I'm sold out of them, that's it. I mean, you won't be able to get them from me again. I really like the Hoax Hunters book. It's starting a brand new story arc. Mike Morrissey and Steve Seeley are such great dudes. They're actually going to be in the store on September 14th. That's a Saturday. They're going to be in here along with Mr. Ortiz, and three guys are going to be signing your books. And should be a whole lot of fun. We're really looking forward to it. I'm excited about this cover.
Too.
I think it looks great. The four of us on there. And
grown men playing with toys.
Grown men playing with Hoax Hunters toys. So you can certainly get that not at your local brick and mortar store, but at your local and only location of Comics and More, 28059 John R. Road in Madison Heights, Michigan. Our phone number is 248-399-3213. So be sure to give us a call there if you want to get this book, and I have no problem mailing it out to you. So be sure to check that out, and that is your Week in Geek.